See, here's the thing. A lot can change after you get a fragrance and you start to spend a lot of time with it. Especially as a fragrance reviewer myself, where I'm constantly trying out new, different fragrances, my taste and my thoughts on fragrances in general really changes pretty quickly. So my thoughts on a fragrance that I reviewed a couple years ago could differ compared to what I think of it now. And again, that's going to happen when it comes to fragrances. You're going to change your mind on stuff. You're going to try different things. You may wear something for a while and get tired of it. You may wear something a lot in the beginning, and then after a few months, and you realize that maybe you don't like this fragrance as much as you thought. And my goal on this channel is really to keep it 100 with you guys. I want to kind of keep you in the loop on what I think about certain scents as time goes on. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be starting the series where I basically kind of give you an updated thoughts on fragrances I've reviewed in the past, kind of tell you what I think of them now, if I think they're still worth purchasing, and if I still wear them often, and really just kind of my updated thoughts on them. So more likely than not, these videos are going to be more informal and just kind of me talking to you guys rather than being like a critical review where I have everything segmented out and, I follow it like that. This is probably going to be a little bit more in the category of rambling and kind of somewhat off topic and really just talking just in general about the scent. So if you don't want a video like that, if you just don't want to listen to me talk about a scent just kind of naturally and free flowing, this video is not going to be for you, and a series probably isn't going to be for you. Just tune in for my actual reviews where I go through stuff critically. But I really do think it'd be fun and kind of interesting for me to revisit some scents just in a dedicated video, fragrances I've reviewed a few years back, and just kind of give you my updated thoughts on them now here in present time and tell you if I would repurchase it again and if I'd recommend you to still purchase the same scent. So before we jump into this video, if you are new here to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Also turn on post notifications and go and give this video a like. And now that we've done all of that, let's go and get into this video. So if it wasn't obvious by the title, in this one we're going to be covering Dior Homme Intense. So this one really doesn't need an introduction. Anyone who is somewhat involved in the fragrance community is going to know about this scent. And what's so interesting about scents like this is the people who aren't into the fragrance community have probably never picked this one up and smelled it or even worn it. So it's kind of riding an odd line where if you're in the fragrance community, you know about it, but if you're not, you don't. So it's kind of a gray area where people think that this scent is overhyped and talked about all the time, which that may be the case in the fragrance community, but it's not in the real world. Now this scent did come out in 2007, so it has been out for a while. It has been reformulated. The 2007 version is a different formulation overall compared to this one, which is the 2011 version. But Dior Homme Intense itself has been out since 2007, putting it at a little over 12 years old. And that's pretty crazy when you think about it. And because when you smell this scent, it really doesn't smell like it's been out for that long. In my personal opinion, this one doesn't smell dated, it doesn't smell old. This one's kind of one of those timeless scents that I really don't think is going to necessarily go out of style. Me personally, I'm a huge fan of the Dior Homme line. I love what they've done with men's fragrances. Dior Homme, just the original, really kind of kicked off that trend of using iris in men's fragrances. They did it in such a way that has a little bit of a mass appeal, but also quite a bit of a uniqueness factor as well. I do love the original Dior Homme. I have a bottle of it. But you know what? I love Dior Homme Intense more. Some people will argue that a Dior Homme is more wearable, and you would be 100% right. But for me personally, if I'm going to be going for this type of DNA, I'm probably going to go all in and just go with the Intense version. This one's a little bit more powdery, it's a little bit more sweet, it's got like this chocolatey type of smell. The iris is just a little bit more prominent. I just like the Intense version better. It's just a little bit more creamy and a little bit more sexy overall. So like I mentioned, this one has been reformulated a few times. I got a couple older bottles in there. This one is my 2017 bottle. Can't really speak on 2018 and 2019 because I haven't tried them. But comparing my 2017 to a couple of my 2014 bottles, which I believe is, I can't remember the formulations off the top of my head, to be honest with you. You could check out my video that I did dedicated on that where I talk about the different formulations. But those 2014s are in a different formulation, which are more heavy on that cocoa note or cacao. So those are a little bit more chocolatey, a little bit more creamy. Comparing those to this one, there is a little bit of a difference, but to be honest with you, this one is still Dior Homme Intense. It still smells just like Dior Homme Intense because it is Dior Homme Intense. So what I'm trying to get at here talking about this reformulation thing is don't sweat it too much. If you are curious about trying Dior Homme Intense, don't let all this talk about reformulations and stuff kind of drag you down and ruin your kind of excitement on the scent. Don't let that get to your head. Still go try this one, because I've made the mistake of letting that stuff get to my head before. Another example is Carolina Herrera's CH Men. I wasn't into fragrances back when those vintage red ribbon bottles were being produced. So for example, at the time when CH Men was popular and getting talk, if you ordered it from a discounter like Fragrance X, you would get that red ribbon bottle. Of course, now they've reformulated it and they've changed the packaging, so if you order that same CH Men from Fragrance X, you're going to be getting the new packaging. And so that was kind of discouraging for me, because when I was reading reviews online about CH Men, a lot of people were saying that, you should only go for the red ribbon bottle and just don't try any of the new stuff because it's not worth it. So for the longest time, I put off that scent. And then later on, I realized that it wasn't a big deal. Luckily for me, I was able to pick up some CH Men older bottles, but even still, I have tried the newer kind, the newer bottles, and they still smell fantastic, just as good. It's still CH Men. So again, my point with telling you this is don't let the reformulations scare you off with this one. I think for a lot of people, it's kind of fun to hunt down older stuff and kind of, look for different batches and reformulations, which I am the same way somewhat. I like to hunt down older formulations and older bottles, but at the same time, you can't let that get to your head too much. Just go out there and try the scent because it's worth trying. For me personally, this one is 100% still worth picking up, even in 2019, moving into 2020. This one is still making a lot of people's fall and winter lists. This one is still going to be making my fall and winter lists, and I don't think that's going to change for a long time. And there's a reason for that. It's not because us reviewers are getting paid by Dior to promote Dior Homme Intense, because I can guarantee you that's not the case for anyone, at least as far as I'm concerned. I know it's not for me. I put this in my videos because I truly love the scent. And so because of that, I'm still going to recommend you to try this one and purchase it for yourself here in 2019. This one is not dated. This one is not going anywhere anytime soon. And this one is still definitely worth trying. If you're kind of a new guy into collecting, I recommend you get your nose on this one early. Just try it out and see what you think about it, because honestly, it can really change your perspective on fragrances. Just realize you may not like it right away because it's going to be something different. You're not really used to smelling stuff like this. But I can almost guarantee you that after a little while, after you smell some more stuff, your nose starts to develop a little bit more, you get more experience with fragrances, you'll start to come around to this one and really enjoy it. So is this one still worth the hype in 2019? 100% yes. I still believe this fragrance is fully worth the talk that it gets, the recognition that it gets. This stuff is, in my personal opinion, a masterpiece. Such a creative work of art here with this one, and it's one that is just perfect for fall, perfect for winter, perfect for if you want to smell upscale, up and classy, you want to smell luxurious. This one is one that you have to check out. This one is a little bit metrosexual. Some may say it's a little bit unisex, which I would agree. I do think that a woman could pull the scent off if she wanted to, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad scent and that men shouldn't wear it, because it is still one that a lot of guys can pull off very, very well. And this one still is a great compliment getter, even now, like I said, over 12 years later, still pulling compliments, still turning heads, still stopping people in their tracks and, really catching their attention and making them go like, wow, what is that? That's different. This one still does that, and it's going to continue to. So kind of to start summing this video up, yes, this one is still worth the hype. Fantastic, incredible fall scent. And it's one that I think everyone should check out and potentially own in their collection. Really, this one is kind of a piece of history with fragrances. Again, it's kind of one of the pioneers of the iris note, and there's just really a lot behind this scent. So guys, that is pretty much it on my kind of little talk about Dior Homme Intense here. Again, I'm not really sure what I'm going to call this series, but let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts are on Dior Homme Intense here in 2019. If you still think it's worth it, if you still think it's worth checking out, let me know down below, because I'm curious to kind of hear your guys' thoughts on this one. Let me know what you think of the new series as well. I want to do this with a few other fragrances I've owned for a little while now, just kind of tell you my updated thoughts on it. If I still think it's worth owning, purchasing, and if it's still worth the hype that it receives. So guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss when I post. And that's going to do it for me, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.